Chris Weidman is on the prelims. Chris Weidman's on the prelims. Like, come on.
This for the ones look up to me. I ain't running in these streets. I just been rapping on these beats. Put all your time in your dream. If you got
UFC 292 is this weekend, and we have Mr. Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley for the bantamweight title of the world. I see no time better than the present to bring this series back, and here's my UFC 292 official breakdown / predictions. Let's get right into it. To kick off this card, we got Karine Silva versus Mayra Moros. Karine Silva is on a 7-fight win streak, with the last 2 coming under UFC banner. Also, the last 2 being first-round finishes. While Moros did lose her last fight against Jennifer Maia, which Maia looked really, really good on her feet. But she also does have a win over Maya Bueno Silva, which really, her win over Holly Holm really impressed me a lot. But with all that being said, I can see Karine Silva finishing this fight within inside 2 rounds, either by TKO or submission, however she feels, if I'm being honest. The next fight on this card is Miss Andrea Lee versus Natalia Silva. I am not too familiar with either one of their games. I do know Andrea Lee is coming off of a 2-fight losing streak, but she does hold wins over Cynthia Calvillo and Antonina Shevchenko, which is Valentina's sister. While Natalia Silva is coming into this fight on a 9-fight win streak, with the last 3 of those being under the UFC banner. I don't know much about either one of these fighters, but I'll take the safe road and say Silva by unanimous decision. The next fight on the card, we got Mr. Gerald Meerschaert III versus Andre Petroski. Gerald Meerschaert is coming into his 52nd MMA bout. That's a lot of times signing up to get punched in the face, in my opinion, but hey, it's not me, so I'm not too worried about it. He's coming into this fight off of a loss to Joe Pfeiffer. I hope I said his name wrong. If not, yeah. And the only reason I know him is because of this. So, yeah, I think they both got something to prove. I think Petroski is trying to elevate his name within the company, and I think he gets this done within inside 1 round. All right, and we got ourselves the tough finales here, and they're going to start it off with the bantamweight division between Mr. Brad Katona versus Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson really impressed me, especially having a win on that torn MCL, which he did to get here, especially the arm triangle against the fence. It was really impressive to me. But Brad Katona, on the other hand, he probably had the fight of the season against Timur. So, with that being said, I can see this fight going either way, but if I was to bet on it, Cody Gibson's the underdog, and I feel like he has a really, really good chance of winning this fight and stop Brad Katona from becoming the first UFC fighter to win TUF twice. So, that's my pick. I'll take Cody Gibson by exciting 3rd-round finish. The next TUF finale we got is Mr. Kurt Holobaugh. I'll probably said his last name wrong, versus Austin Hubbard. To get to this finale, Austin Hubbard had a very, very lackluster win against Roosevelt Roberts, which really kind of disappointed me. I thought that fight had a potential to be the fight of the season, but hey, you know, you can't always predict firefights. But on the other hand, that man, Kurt put it on Jason Knight. That surprised me a lot. I have a lot of respect for Jason Knight, especially what he can do coming from BKFC. That sport, that's a whole different animal in itself. But hey, whoever won that, I was gonna go with no matter what. So I am taking my guy Kurt to win this Ultimate Fighter, but I don't think it's gonna be a very wash of a fight. I'm taking Kurt by unanimous decision. The next fight on the card, we got Mr. Gregory Rodriguez. I know that's not how you say his last name. It might be. It might. I don't think it is. It's not how it's spelled, but that's what I read it as. So, versus Dennis. I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name. So just bear with me. I'm gonna put the fighters up so you know what I'm talking about here. But they are both coming into this fight off of a loss. I think they're both really, really desperate to get back in the win column. And just by watching their last couple of fights, I think Gregory is going to be able to get this man out of here really, really fast. And I'll say in the 1st round. This was probably the biggest surprise to me on this fight placement. Chris Weidman is on the prelims. Chris Weidman's on the prelims. Like, come on, man. Chris Weidman. I know he knocked out Anderson Silva 10 years ago. I know that. I know his leg break knocked him his leg break knocked him off 2 years, but on the prelims in Boston, oh man. But I can't get over that. But anyways, he's fighting Mr. Brad Tavares. I think that's a perfect matchup for him to come back to. I mean, Brad Tavares literally hasn't had a finish in, I think, like 5 years. I'll put it up somewhere, but it's been a very long time since Brad Tavares has put anybody away, which fares well for a wrestler like him. Brad Tavares isn't that explosive, super explosive guy that can shut his lights off in one shot. So I think Chris Weidman will be able to out-wrestle him pretty easily unless his leg's not holding up, which is very possible. I'm not going to say likely, but it's very possible that his leg doesn't hold up. But I'm taking Chris Weidman by unanimous decision. Mario Batista versus Damon Blackshear. Hey, they are really, really trying to boost up Mario, which I don't blame him. He looks great in his last couple of fights. With the last 3 fights of his ending in the first round, all under UFC banner, so he's fighting some pretty stiff competition. While Blackshear is taking his fight on a week's notice and pulling off a twister, which is 1 in 3 that the UFC has had. I respect Blackshear for taking it, but Mario's a really, really, really different guy, and I got him winning within the first round of this fight. Marlon Chito Vera versus Pedro Munoz. Chito Vera can easily find himself in a title contention bout or a title picture if he's able to put away Pedro emphatically or excitingly. Sean O'Malley already called for it. If Sean O'Malley wins and and Chito Vera wins, Sean O'Malley already called his first title defense. So, yeah, Chito's just got to look exciting, or if anything, dominate to get the unanimous decision victory. I don't think this fight's going to decision. As long as Pedro doesn't catch Chito Vera, I feel like Chito Vera has the striking to I don't want to say outpoint him, but be more effective of an outside striker than Pedro Munoz. So I'm taking Chito Vera to get the finish inside the distance. Mr. Neil Magny has stepped up to the plate to fight Mr. Ian Gary. After today's press conference, I think Ian Gary took Neil Magny's words out of context. I don't think he meant he beat children. I mean, I think you would hear about an MMA fighter of his size or stature beating up on a kid. But anyways, Neil Magny has been active this year. This is going to be his second fight in this year. He looked really, really good against Phil Rowe, but they have Mr. Ian Gary as a minus 520 favorite as I'm recording this right now. That is way too high against somebody like Neil Magny, who is always dangerous. I'm not going to say he can put away Ian Gary, which he possibly could. I don't see him doing it, but him by decision is a very, very, I'm not going to say high chance, but if he wins, that's the way he's more than likely going to win. But Ian Gary has finished 8 of his 12 wins, and he's undefeated at the moment. So I'm taking Ian Gary to finish him within 2, but I won't be surprised if Neil Magny can drag him in them deep waters and drown him and get a unanimous decision victory over Ian Gary. Weili Zhang versus Amanda Lemos. I mean, this has fight of the night potential written all over it. 2 strikers that love to get their dirty work done quickly. I mean, Amanda Lemos headlined her last event. Weili Zhang is looking for her first title defense. What more can you ask for? I like both fighters, but I do think Weili Zhang will be able to defend her title, and I think she finishes Amanda Lemos inside of 3. The fight everybody came here for, Mr. Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley. It sells itself. Sugar Sean thinks O'Malley's not going to be able to touch him. Aljamain thinks he's just going to ragdoll Sean. I mean, what I've seen from Aljo, he's done it. He's done it almost everybody's fault. Yeah, he shoots a lot, but doesn't get the takedown. You do realize a lot of those takedown attempts came from Henry Cejudo, who won an Olympic gold medalist, and he was taking them down. I mean, like, I mean, what are we talking about here? Versus Sean O'Malley. Now, I'm not saying Sean O'Malley cannot win this fight. Sean O'Malley can very easily punch him right here and put that man to sleep. We've seen Jermaine Sterling sleep before, example way, but that was more than, well, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago off the top of my head. Aljamain's going for something really, really big here. I think if he's able to finish Sean O'Malley, he's kind of the UFC bantamweight GOAT. I'm not saying the bantamweight GOAT all time, because personally, I got Dominic Cruz, because his WEC days was unmatched and unreal. But UFC bantamweight GOAT is Mr. Aljamain Sterling, if he's able to get this finish. Mark it, bookmark it, do whatever you want with this video. It's him. I'm sorry. It is him. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take Aljamain Sterling 4th round submission. 4th round submission is what I'm going with. But like I said, it's very likely Sean O'Malley can knock this man out. I'm not saying he's not unhittable or anything like that. I just feel like Aljamain's wrestling has shown me that he's levels above a lot of people. So that's what I'm taking away. I think he drowns Sean O'Malley early and gets him out of there in 4th. Let me know what y'all think about my predictions, breakdowns, who y'all got winning Saturday. Yeah, I'll start trying to make more videos like this. UFC's a really, really big part of what I like to watch. I love football too. I mean, I play it. I mean, my jerseys, my pro indoor football jerseys right there. So I'll take you off and you can see it close. Or yeah, there you go, close enough. But yeah, I love that too. I'll talk about football whenever football gets in the swing of things, especially college football. I want to go see some of those games, but I'm rambling. Like always, if you like the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Be good people. Peace.